Morning, Rufus. We've got a couple of companies there that we can talk about. We've got National Bank, Total Kenya, and we've got the tea company, Captura. But perhaps the shilling, let's start with the currency at to kick off. A 6-month low of 86 against the dollar, and that was despite an increase in foreign exchange reserves in the last week. So what's happening there with the currency?
Well, first of all, we have structural challenges in the form of current account deficit, which is about 14% of the GDP, that is really huge. We're also struggling with issues of trade deficit of $1 billion, which I think are some of the issues that we are yet to address. So the day-to-day mopings by the Central Bank of Kenya that has been ongoing for the better part of this year have actually yielded, but not as much as to protect the currency from sliding further. So as you said, there's a slide. There has been a slide, particularly more pronounced in the last 3 months. So I guess going forward, it's going to be a really a challenge to see how the government, or particularly the central bank, deals with this issue, as we expect the currency to even lose further as we head into the festive season, and all these importers trying to to get more and more imports to make more sales in this season. So I guess that's going to be a very interesting challenge going forward.
Yes, I must say, Alicia does this show and then she goes on and does our Power Lunch show. When I've done that show, it's almost the same statement every day about the bank mopping up dollars, putting intervening in that market. Is there a policy there? Do they state this is what we're trying to do, or is it kind of a day-to-day, week-to-week reaction?
Well, okay. First of all, it's been more of a temporary measure that the government is trying to do, so that to avoid what we experienced last year, where the currency lost about 30% when it hit about 100 shillings. First time ever it has done since it was deregulated, the industry was deregularized. One thing I think what the government needs to address is some of those issues, as I've pointed out earlier. If we can see imports slow down and some kind of put curbs there, whether in the form of excess taxes, or kind of see on ways how to boost our exports and kind of to narrow down, to really bridge that gap. I think that's the only way we can see sort of trying to protect our shilling from sliding further, because if that is not done, then this is a problem that the government has to face year on year.
Right. Well, Rufus, looking at moving on to the exchange itself and some of the gainers and losers there, National Bank among the top gainers yesterday. What's behind that?
Well, yeah, as you said, the bank up about 1.7% yesterday. Well, it's mostly, we attribute it to just technical factors, because what we've noticed is since the year began until date, the level at 18 has been such a strong support level for that particular bank. And about at least 4 times this year, it has hit that level, and we've seen buying interest at that level. So to me, I attribute that to just buyers congregating at that level and giving it support. Because as we speak, the bank is in about 10% year to date. Well, the rest of the industry is up about 30%. So, and even the market is still digesting from poor Q3 results that these guys posted out. Losing about 68% of their profits. Dropping the profit before tax by about 68%. And I think just looking from it from fundamentally speaking, we don't think there's anything fundamental that contributed to the uprise. To the rise or to the jump of the price yesterday.
Then among the biggest losers was Total Kenya. That's a big company. A couple of things going wrong there. They talk about operating costs, they talk about financing costs, and then to go back to your opening remarks, foreign exchange rates. So they've been hit on 3 fronts according to them. Although just looking at their results in their cash flow, last year there was a big use of cash flow, and this year at least they've got a positive cash flow generated from operations. So that looks good. So what's on balance, where is Total Kenya?
First of all, they had a good year. They had a good, let's say, just 9 months. We've seen the turnovers going up from about $800 to $1 billion. But out of the 3 factors you mentioned, the biggest factor there is the finance cost, which went up above 57%. from about 10 to 16 billion dollars. I mean, 16 million dollars, and I think this is attributed, to the first 6 months of the year when the interest rates were, at an average of about 15%. So they were hit hard in terms of, paying those interests, or the bank borrowings. And when you look at the forex, it really didn't move. But actually, the situation improved because of the hedges that they have on the currency side. I think going forward, we expect the farm to do well. As we've seen, the interest has been coming down, from a half 18% in the month of January to right now about 11%. Inflation is also coming down. It's about 4% from a half, about almost 19% at the beginning of the year. So I guess going forward, we're very positive about that stock. And as we've seen, oil prices, while we have been going up, should be trading about 113 from about 109 beginning of the year. So I guess going forward, we're very positive for that particular stock.
And also with prospects of more prospects for oil exploration in Kenya, that would also affect the perception of that stock. And then tea, one of the big economic factors in the Kenyan economy. Two companies, Kapchorua Tea and Williamson Tea, they've released their third quarter results. How have they been affected by conditions in the country and indeed abroad?
Okay, first of all, let me just mention that the first quarter of the year has been wasn't quite well for the tea farms because tea production kind of went down from I have about 85 to 72,000 tons produced for that particular quarter, and I think that has kind of contributed negatively, majorly for those two particular farms. And as you see, the turnovers on average went down by about 2.5%. And that also contributed negatively to their profitability. So I guess going forward, what we're seeing, because the whole industry is really dependent on the weather factor. So if the rains come out good and the production levels go up, then they're bound to benefit. And these whole things are happening despite the fact that tea prices have gone up by about 16%. And I think that they have missed that opportunity. Another factor that has really contributed to the negative returns is the increase in the operational costs, like particularly for Kapchorua Tea, the wage cost went up about 12%, and some other factors regarding to fuel and forex. So I think going forward, these firms need to, if they can put a lid on those particular costs, then I think they stand to benefit with the world prices going up.